Today we're going to talk about variables and expressions. Algebra is a branch of math dealing with symbols. One symbol that is frequently used is a variable. A variable is a placeholder for any value. For example, x represents a value. So if you see x in an algebraic expression, it represents a value. Or it can also be an algebraic equation. So an expression like x plus 2 is called an algebraic expression because it contains sums and or products of variables and numbers. To evaluate an algebraic expression, replace the variable or variables with known values and then use the order of operations. So we're still going to be using PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Remembering that multiplication and division go together, whichever comes first left to right, as well as addition and subtraction, whichever comes first left to right. So, but now you're going to be given values for variables, and you're going to plug those values into an expression and then evaluate it. So it's just an added step. For example, evaluate x plus y. So it'll say evaluate, just like in the last section, evaluate x plus y minus 9 if y equals 26 and x equals 15. So you're given values for x and y. X equals 15, and this will be right next to the expression that you're supposed to evaluate. X equals 15, y equals 26. Okay, so then you're going to find the x and the y in the expression, plug in those values, and then evaluate it using the order of operations. Okay, so x is 15, so I'm going to plug that in. 15 plus y. Y equals 26. Plug in 26 minus 9. Okay, and then we're going to evaluate that. So you plugged in these values for x and y, which were the variables, and then you're going to evaluate it, just like a regular expression. So 15 plus 26 minus 9. According to order of operations, you add and subtract, whichever comes first, left to right. We're going to add first 15 plus 26, line those up. Double-digit addition, 5 plus 6, carry the 1, 2 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, and then bring down the rest of the expression. So you have 41 minus 9. 41 minus 9, subtract. Borrow from the 4. This becomes an 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. 3 minus nothing is 3. So your answer is 32. That's the answer to this algebraic expression. It's called an algebraic expression because of the variables. Once you add those variables in, it becomes algebraic. Okay, another example would be 6 minus e plus f. 6 minus e plus f. Okay, so x and y aren't always used as variables, but they're the most common variables that are used in algebraic expressions. Now in this one, e equals 3 and f equals 9. So e equals 3, f equals 9. So just like the last expression, we're going to plug in the values for e and f into this expression and then evaluate it using order of operations. So 6 stays the same. Bring down the subtraction. E equals 3 plus f equals 9. Okay, so remember, adding and subtracting go together. And when you're evaluating an expression, You do whichever operation comes first when you're reading it left to right, just like you're reading a sentence. So even though the A is first, there's a subtraction first, and so you're going to actually subtract first. So 6 minus 3 is 3. Bring down the rest. 3 plus 9 equals 12. Remember, is in math is equals. Equals equals is, and is equals equals. Okay. Another example, 7k plus h. Evaluate 7k plus h. If k equals 4 and h equals 10. So k equals 4, h equals 10. You're going to plug in the values for k and h. Okay, 7 and the k, and k equals 4. That doesn't mean that that's 74. This is really important. Whenever you have a variable right next to a number, it doesn't mean that the variable is part of the number. It means that it's being multiplied by that number. So this is actually 7 times 4. It's really important that you remember that. So we're going to put the 4 in parentheses. Because remember, if it's a number is right next to a set of parentheses, it means that you're multiplying that number by the number inside, whatever's inside the parentheses. And you may have to evaluate something inside of parentheses before you multiply by the number on the outside. Okay. Plus h equals 10. So you're going to plug in that 10. You're just plugging these values into this expression. Okay, and so now we're going to go with the order of operations again. Multiplication comes first. So 7 times 4 is first. And that's 28 plus 10. Okay, and then we're just going to add 28 plus 10 equals 38. Now you've evaluated that expression. Okay. Sometimes you'll have several variables, and they'll have to be multiplied in several different places. For example, m over n divided by 2. So remember, any fraction can be a division problem. Okay, because if the numerator on top is larger than the denominator, it's an improper fraction, and you have to divide. So m times n divided by 2 when m equals 7 and n equals 4. M equals 7, n equals 4. So you're going to plug in those values for m and n. It doesn't mean that this numerator is 74. It means it's 7 times 4. 7 times 4 divided by 2. Any fraction can be a division problem, even if the numerator isn't bigger than the denominator, because you could need to turn the fraction into a decimal. So you'd still divide, but you'd have a part of a number, which is a decimal. Okay. 7, then we're going to multiply across. 7 times 4 equals 28, divided by 2. 28 divided by 2 equals 14. And that's your answer.